Hello and welcome back to Causing Nebula. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about this content creator that came across my Instagram feed. And I see her videos a lot because apparently she is trying to lose weight. And I sometimes comment on her videos because, in my opinion, she is trying to lose weight in a way that I think a lot of fat people try to lose weight, and in a way that I tried to lose weight, and in a way that quite frankly wasted so many years. I wish that I had known these things 10-15 years ago, but I know them now, and I see that this person is making similar mistakes over and over and over again, and those mistakes are the reason why at the end of every single day that she uploads quote-unquote healthy food, she almost always ends it by eating a bunch of unhealthy food and ordering takeout and just eating a bunch of bullshit. And in my opinion, a big reason for that is the way that she starts her day with her first meals of the day, because in my opinion, they are not high enough in protein. But anyway, I wanted to look at some of her most popular videos of what she eats in a day as a 300-pound person, and then I will go to her videos of what she eats in a day as a person that is trying to lose weight and trying to be healthier, and why those attempts are going to ultimately fail in the end. So let's get into the video.
As a person over 300 pounds, no energy drink for the day. I started off the day by eating some Chick-fil-A. I think this is about like 11.
If you have been on my channel for the last few weeks, you know that I'm on like a kick talking about processed fast food. I used to get really bad food noise. I used to order fast food once a week at least, but at the worst, I used to order fast food probably 2 or 3 or 4 times a week. I used to go to the grocery store and get like the ready-made like takeout hot corner meals of like fried chicken and a bunch of other bullshit, right? Fries, French fries. I used to eat a lot of packaged snacks and stuff like that. I used to eat probably like 2,000-3,000 calories of it a day for like 2 or 3 years, which is why I have stage 3 kidney failure. But this woman is starting off the day with processed fast food, and I know that Chick-fil-A probably has some decent stuff on the menus, like their naked tenders and their kale salad, but she is starting off with French fries, and she is starting off with chicken that has been deep fried, and she's starting off with this mayonnaise based sauce, and this is a reason why she cannot control her eating. My last video on this topic matter was restricted, but the reality is that this type of food, even if it's quote unquote clean fast food, cleaner than places like McDonald's, first of all, it is designed to trigger your brain not to feel satiated. And then secondly, it's designed to trigger your brain to want to eat more food like this. So the reality is potatoes are healthy, chicken is healthy, but neither chicken or potatoes are healthy when you deep fry them. And it's not just about calories. It comes down to the fact that when you combine carbohydrates and high fat and also high sodium together, this makes a trifecta of delicious flavor, right? Nobody is overweight because they eat too much goddamn blanched chicken breast, right? Nobody is overweight because they eat too many boiled potatoes, right? It's almost as if blanched chicken breast and boiled potatoes just are not as satisfying in some way as deep fried chicken and deep fried potatoes are, right? So this woman is repeating a behavior that almost every fat person that I know repeats. It's behavior that I used to repeat, and I just really wish we got to the point where we can just accept that we cannot eat like this. We cannot eat like this, and eating like this on a regular is why you are fat. And I know people know that, but if you want to stop getting caught in this trap, the way to break it is to stop eating this food 99% of the time.
11 a.m. So that's why it is a lunch food. I got a diet lemonade, and then I got a chicken sandwich with like 4 packs of mayonnaise. And
she got 4 packs of mayonnaise, and I'm pretty sure each pack of mayonnaise is probably at least 100 calories, right? Because if you ever measured out a tablespoon of mayonnaise or butter or peanut butter or anything that's really high in fat, you will see that it does not result in a lot for 100 calories. It is so offensive. So this woman just put like at least 350 calories worth of mayonnaise on this sandwich. There's just really no way to get out of this habit until you stop eating this type of food.
And then I got a medium fry. This was actually really good, and the lemon.
And this is not even satiating. That's also another point that I want to make. This is not satiating. For this amount of calories, right, she could have eaten probably like 300 grams of chicken breast that has been sous vide or baked, you know, or cooked in the air fryer. she could have had 60 grams of lean chicken breast protein, because chicken breast has I think about roughly 20 grams of protein per 100 grams of meat. And there are so many brands and companies that are making chicken breast and flavoring chicken breast and cooking chicken breast without oil that you can buy. And she could have had 60 grams of lean protein and some fruit and some vegetables, probably some yogurt, right? And a low calorie drink. She could have had so much more food for the exact same amount of calories, but she is choosing to eat this because she is addicted to food.
It was delicious per usual.
Look at that goddamn amount of mayonnaise. How does she not see that that mayonnaise is an outrageous amount of mayonnaise? That's an outrage. Nobody needs that much mayonnaise. Like, I love mayonnaise, but the calories in mayonnaise is enough of a deterrent for me. Like, it's just not worth it. 100 calories, probably more for this entire packet. I would imagine this packet is more than a tablespoon. The calorie is such a deterrent for me because I would rather have a lot more different other foods than have 4 packs of fucking mayonnaise.
And the lemonade was delicious per usual. I only had 2 meals for the day. I didn't have my second meal until like around 6 or 7 p.m.
So she had this meal at 11 and then her second meal at 6 to 7 p.m. But I would imagine that she had something to eat in between there. I don't believe for a second that this woman ate absolutely nothing else for the rest of the day until 6 p.m.
That second meal, I did Uber Eats some food because
she out of her goddamn mind. She ordered fast food twice in a day. And that's something that I used to do. That's probably something that a lot of fat people have done or do regularly. But guess what? The reason why she ordered the extra fast food is because of, guess what? She ate fast food for lunch.
I had like a $15 off coupon. And don't worry, y'all, I am going to do a recap on how much money I spent on eating out and fast food from Monday through Sunday, and I will be posting that tomorrow. Anyways, I ordered Jersey Mike's and I got a club sub sandwich, a regular size with some
So she got some processed meat, and this is something that I see that she does constantly, is that she seems to equate processed meat with regular unprocessed meat, or she seems to think that protein is protein is protein, and unfortunately it is not, right? Because a lot of foods have multiple macronutrients in it, right? Technically, but processed meat is not a good source of protein, but this woman seems to think that it is. But she got this meat on this sub with this little bit of vegetables, right? This should be packed with vegetables, but she has a little bit of vegetables on it, and then she has topped it off with a bag of Cheetos. Again, I don't know how many calories are in a bag of Cheetos, but I would imagine she could have had probably 2 apples, right? She could have probably had 2 apples, probably like 5 little tangerines for this amount. She could have probably had 2 bananas, right? She could have had so much more food in volume for the amount of calories that she is wasting on this small ass amount of food. And because she had that Chick-fil-A for lunch, like I said, they designed that food to make you want to continue to eat that type of food. It is one of the best investments a company can make. Invest in highly palatable processed food, and you don't even have to invest in one brand, right? You can spread your money out because people will go and buy the next processed thing and the next processed thing and the next processed thing. So eventually you will be able to sell people all of the food that you are technically invested in. I wish people would understand that I wish people would understand that these companies literally work in laboratories to measure how processed the food is and what reaction is going to give you, and they know it full and well, right? And I think a lot of people like to say, well, the government should do something about it so that we don't have access to this food. But guess what? That is called government control, and that is something that Americans unabashedly reject, right? So you have to really pick and choose, right? Because this kind of food where I live at, it is not as processed as it is in the United States. So, and that is because the government here has a lot more oversight, and they have a lot more control over the lives of people and what people here are allowed to eat. And Americans, they love to say that it needs to be regulated, but I don't think that the average American would take lightly to it being regulated.
Chips. That's everything.
I don't believe her. I'm sorry. I don't believe that she didn't have anything else throughout the day. And again, I'm not saying that she is intentionally lying. I think that she just counted her meals for the day, but she didn't count any other kind of snacks that she had for the day, any kind of handful of anything, 1 or 2 bites of something. I just don't think it's the case that a person that is this unhealthy and has ordered fast food twice in one day didn't eat anything else in a 24-hour span. That's just highly, highly, highly unlikely. But anyway, I want to look at another video. So here we have another video of what she eats in a day as a person that's 290 pounds. So apparently she gained weight in between those two videos, or maybe she lost weight, who knows. But I have not had McDonald's chicken nuggets in probably a couple of years. And I remember when I was getting fat and when I was developing kidney disease that I used to have McDonald's, oh my God, like at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I used to get the 20-piece nugget and a large fry. And I know the 20-piece nugget has almost 1,000 calories, like 900 something calories in it. So it's an outrageous amount of calories. And you could probably eat a kilogram of chicken breast for that amount of calories, right? Which is impossible to do, but it goes to show you just how much processed food allows you to eat outrageous amounts of calories for almost no volume.
And as a person over 290 pounds, I usually do what I eat in a days, but I was all over the place because I was watching my sister's child at her house, so I just did not have enough clips for just one video, so I'm gonna combine the two. I ate over 20 pieces of nuggets from McDonald's.
She ate over 20 nuggets. So how many nuggets did she fucking order then, right? How many nuggets did you order that you ate more than 20? Did you order 40 nuggets? Or did you order a 20-piece and a 10-piece? Outrageous.
And a large french fry for lunch.
So she had 2,000 calories just for that one meal. And now we can see, and I said it 1,000 times, I'm going to say it again. I don't care if YouTube doesn't like it. Guess what? When you eat carbohydrates too early in the day, especially processed carbohydrates, like french fries made at McDonald's, which are very far away from being actual potato, right? They go through all kinds of processing before they deep fry them. It just makes you hungrier for the next carbohydrate, right? And this woman, we can see she is 290 pounds in this video. She is not active enough to even need carbohydrates. And I know people say you shouldn't villainize carbohydrates. There's no problem with carbohydrates. The problem with carbohydrates is that they are a fuel source. If you are somebody who is not exercising or expending much energy doing anything in particular, then you don't need any fucking fuel, right? Sugar is the same thing. They are fuel sources. So if you are not doing something that requires fueling, like for example biking 200 kilometers, you don't need to really be eating carbohydrates that much, right? The average person who is sedentary the majority of the day, they don't need carbs at breakfast and they don't need carbs at lunch because they're not doing anything to require it, right? But you do need carbs just to sustain your body in general, and you can eat them at night. But she has moved on to eating pasta, and what do we see here again? Processed meat, right? Because she thinks probably in her mind, oh, well, you know, this has protein in it. And I hear a lot of people saying that, like, oh, it has protein in it. Yeah, guess what? Companies have switched their marketing tactics to putting protein in everything. And unless it is a lean, it is not a pure protein source. And this goes for all of the vegan proteins as well. All of the vegan protein options are high carb options, or they are heavily processed and still high carb. So pasta is not a protein source. I don't give a damn how much protein they put in it. It's still not a protein source. It's a carb, right? Milk is not a protein source. It has protein in it, but it's not a protein source. It's primarily a dairy, and it usually has a lot of fat in it, right? I'm not saying milk is bad for you. The same with yogurt. Yogurt has a lot of protein in it. Great, terrific. It's not a protein source, right? Chicken breast is a damn protein source. Pork loin is a protein source. Sirloin is a protein source. Right? Even eggs are not protein sources, they are fat sources. But this woman seems to suffer tremendously from trying to compensate pure protein with protein adjacent. I left a comment on one of her posts on Instagram, and I said that she eats a lot of protein adjacent food, and this meal is protein adjacent, because I would say this meal is not a high protein meal.
On Saturday. Then for dinner, I made something, okay? I cooked.
And nary a vegetable in there either, right? Not a vegetable. This woman could have cut up an entire zucchini and put it in there, and that would have increased the volume. She could have cut up a whole head of broccoli and put it in there to increase the volume. Peas, carrots, right? She had so many options for so many vegetables she could have put in here to increase the volume. And we can see she eats this small ass little portion of food, and even though it's a small portion, it's probably high in calories, but more so it is not going to fill her stomach up, and she's probably going to eat some more bullshit after this.
It was nothing crazy, but it was just some pasta with some sauce and turkey meatballs. I feel like it tasted okay. I didn't care too much for turkey meatballs. You can really taste the turkey in them. They definitely did not taste like regular meatballs.
Because it's turkey, stupid.
And then on Sunday when I went home, I really didn't have any food to eat. I was gonna eat the
bullshit. She about to, I guarantee you, let me see. She is about to order some bullshit food, and the excuse she's going to use for ordering some bullshit food is that, well, you know, I didn't have any food in my house. This woman lives in the United States of motherfucking America, right? And I assume she has a car because she lives in America and she's fat, right? So you can't be this fat and walk everywhere. She could have taken her ass to some 24-hour mart like Walmart and bought food easily, right? And this is another habit that a lot of fat people have. It's a habit that I also used to have, looking for any excuse to buy bullshit, right? It is such a badass habit, right? Any mild inconvenience. Oh, I forgot to go buy this one thing at the grocery store. Might as well order takeout. Oh my God, I got home late. Might as well order takeout. Oh, I worked too long. Might as well order takeout, right? It is such a bad habit that people who have an affinity for food like to engage in. But let's see what she got.
The salad I had in my fridge, but it went bad the day before.
She a goddamn lie. Guess what? Salads do not expire that quickly, right? Even if it's the case that the salad is expiring, usually it can be salvaged to some degree. So she just absolutely couldn't eat the salad, guys. But she has a whole ass big ass bag of Sour Patch Kid watermelons. Ain't that crazy?
So I was eating on some watermelon jelly beans.
Ain't that crazy? That's so shocking. Her salad expired, guys. And so she had no choice but to eat some watermelon jelly beans.
So this is like a horrible angle to film and I really need to stop. For dinner, I had some smothered meat with green beans and rice and carrots.
This actually doesn't look bad. The meat, it looks like it's maybe a dark meat, which isn't terrible. It's better than eating processed protein adjacent meat. And then the vegetables look fine, but they look canned. I think she probably should have used fresh ones, and then it's fine. But the thing that I would complain about this meal is that there's too many carbs on the plate. That's way too much fucking rice. The ratio of rice to chicken to green beans is too high. And I said earlier in this video that you need to eat your carbohydrates at night, but again, this is too much rice. She is not active enough to need this much rice. I go to the gym 7 days a week and I eat in a day just over 100 grams of carbohydrates. I don't mean like in weight. I mean in actual, the macronutrient carbohydrate. I eat only 100 grams of it a day. And I'm pretty sure, based on what I know about like the weight of rice, is that like a couple 100 grams of rice, I think is roughly, don't quote me on it, is roughly like maybe 60 to 70 grams of carbohydrates. And this is more than that, right? So this is probably over 500 fucking calories of just fucking rice. And again, fat people, they love to load up their plates with carbohydrates because they're addicted to carbohydrates. And this is why carbohydrates get so much hate on the internet. And people try to say, you know, don't villainize carbohydrates. And carbohydrates are not villains. The problem is that they are easy to overeat. They are the easiest macronutrient to overeat. Nobody is overeating protein. Nobody is overeating fat, right? But carbohydrates, we can, all of us, overeat them because they are designed for that purpose. They're designed to increase your appetite, right? The more you eat them, the more you want to eat them. But when you pair them with other types of food, then they become regulated. So it's good that she paired it with this protein and these vegetables. That's good. But again, in my opinion, she should probably have like 1/3 of this amount of rice and not this big ass plate of it. So in this video, she has a what I eat in a day as a plus size person, and it says I had to get takeout. And so these are the videos that were presented to me from this content creator, these types of videos. I guess she is trying to lose weight. And in my opinion, she is on the right track, but she is making small mistakes that I think is holding her back. And this plate is an exact, if you look at this plate, you can see the reason why this plate, in my opinion, is not good enough and is going to result in her ordering takeout like she said.
As a plus size person, and I did get some takeout today. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Because she ate these bullshit ass chicken sausages. And I left a comment on her video and I said that this is not a protein. I'm sorry, it's not. And people are gonna say, but Cosmic Nebula, chicken sausage has protein in it. It has protein in it. It is not a protein. This shit has a bunch of fat in it. It has a bunch of sodium in it, a bunch of nitrates in it. It has some protein in it, but guess what? For the amount of calories that these two chicken sausages are, she probably could have eaten 300 grams of chicken breast, flavored chicken breast, flavored in all different kinds of sauces. In the US, you'll have so much fucking variety. You have no excuse not to be eating chicken breast. And I know people, they love to hate on chicken breast because people feel like it's pushed too much. The reason why chicken breast is pushed so much is because it is a cheap, lean protein, and you can flavor it in a bunch of different flavors. You can cook it in a bunch of different ways to make it taste delicious, because I eat it 90% of the time, right? The biggest protein that I eat is chicken, because it is cheaper than stuff like salmon and stuff like beef where I live at, and it's easier to access than stuff like tilapia where I live at. But again, in my opinion, a big reason why her appetite will not be satiated is because she doesn't fucking eat enough protein. 200 grams of chicken breast would have filled her up, right? The apple, I agree with. The avocado toast is great. But y'all all know, I don't think that a person that's 300 pounds should be eating bread at the beginning of the day, right? She could have just dipped her chicken breast in that avocado, and her blood sugar would have remained stable throughout the day, right? That's the reason why her blood sugar would have remained stable, but she turned her blood sugar on by eating this toast and also eating these sausages, because I guarantee you they have a fucking bunch of carbohydrates in them. And even though apple has some carbohydrates in it, it is not a meaningful amount.
Starting off with breakfast, I had 2 apple chicken sausages with mustard, a piece of Dave's bread with half an avocado.
Yeah, it's just Dave's bread, whatever the fuck that is just one of those companies that's trying to make it seem like their food is a lot healthier than it is. Yeah, she doesn't need it because she's not doing anything but sitting on her ass all day. So she doesn't need any kind of carbohydrates. And the fact that a lot of people cannot give up their carbohydrates, I want you to understand, yeah, that's a food addiction. That's why. It's not because you need it to live. It's not because your body needs to be nourished. It's because you have an addiction to food. And guess what? Your body and your brain, they don't care about what is healthy for you, right? Your body only has one objective, and that is to stay alive as long as possible. And so having access to high calorie things like bread and this avocado on top of this bread, right? Because the avocado in the absence of the bread just doesn't hit the same, right? It doesn't feel the same, because carbohydrates are the vehicle of appetite, right? So I think she should get rid of these chicken sausages, and she should get rid of that fucking bread, and she should replace the chicken sausages with some actual lean protein that's not cooked in fat or deep fried or anything. And she probably would not have ordered takeout.
And then I just had a full pink apple on the side, and that is just like one of my favorite apples. I don't know, do you guys like green apples or pink or red? Like, what's your favorite apple?
I love yellow apples. I can't believe she didn't say yellow apples. I just bought some yellow apples today because in the country that I live in, it is currently, I think, apple seasons from September, October to November. So it's the apple season. And I eat an apple every day when I get off of work as I walk home, because I don't want to buy any food. And I'm usually a little bit hungry after I get off work. And so I'll eat an apple, and it is satiating enough that I can wait the hour and a half until I get home and I can eat. Or if I get busy and something happens in the interim of me going to work and coming home, I have an apple in my bag, and I also have some dehydrated sliced chicken breast in my bag. But I can't believe she said green apples. Who the fuck likes green apples?
Y'all already know I had to have an Alani Nu. This is the pink slush.
My favorite is also the refusal to just drink water. Like, I usually have one carbonated 0-calorie drink a day, but it's weird to me that a lot of these people absolutely refuse to drink water. Like, if you have a bunch of other like deliciously tasting things on your plate, why does your beverage also need to taste a specific way?
Just without the carbonation. Then for lunch.
And this video also popped up in my Instagram, and I think I commented on this video on Instagram too. But what is this bullshit? Right? What is this low carb tortilla, turkey, and cheese? Not a vegetable in fucking sight. And again, this turkey is processed turkey. This is not lean turkey meat from an actual fucking turkey bird. And like I said, this is protein adjacent food. It is not a protein source. But I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. These carbohydrates is what's keeping people fat. It's really what's keeping people fat. If you don't go to the gym, you don't do any kind of cardio, and you are primarily sedentary, and that is included in 10,000 steps a day. I love how people think 10,000 steps a day is like a lot of effort. It's not. Unfortunately, right? It's just not. That's bare minimum movement for a human being that's not severely disabled in 2025. So unless you are doing something that requires you to exert energy, you don't need to have carbohydrates for breakfast or for lunch, and you can have probably like 50 to 75 grams worth of carbs at dinner, and then that should be it for the day. But this lunch, again, in my opinion, is pitiful. It's pitiful. The cheese, again, cheese has some protein in it, but cheese is a fucking fat source, and it is high as fuck in calories for no reason, right? Cheese pisses me off so much because it's high in calories. And I eat cheese, but it's low fat string cheese. It's individually wrapped. And so I can just pull 1 or 2 of them off, and they are 50 calories each. And so I just keep like a general mental, I guess, meter of how much I eat roughly, right? Because it's not realistic that a person counts every single thing they put in their mouth for the rest of their fucking life. I look at the backs of packages. I count out certain types of food that I have no choice but to weigh, especially carbohydrates. I'll weigh my carbohydrates. And then I just keep a general meter in my head about how much calories is in something. But because I eat food on repeat 99% of the time, the exact same foods, literally the exact same brand, in the exact same portion, in the exact same flavor, over and over and over and over again, I have a general understanding of how many calories is in everything that I eat. But this woman, she put this cheese and these meat and these tortillas together, and I imagine that is probably within her calorie limit, but the problem is that it's not satiating enough. This is why she is going to order takeout. She could have had 200 or 300 grams of fucking pork loin and some vegetables and a couple of apples for the amount of calories that's in this bullshit. And that is so much food and so much filling food that she would have not felt the inclination to want to order takeout. But because she is eating stupidly like this, she's going to order takeout at the end of the day.
I was kind of craving like a chicken quesadilla, so I kind of...
Look at that. What the fuck? I'm telling you, I don't want it. Don't give me some shit that look like that. I don't want it, y'all. Because this is not enough food. This is not a lot of food. I want to eat a lot of food. She could have cut up a cucumber and put a cucumber on that, right? She could have eaten some vegetables on the side of this. She could have put vegetables in it. Peppers, onions. I don't know. What do you put in quesadillas, right? There's a bunch of different things she could have put inside this quesadilla to make it bigger without greatly increasing the calories of it. But this little bit amount of food for a person that as big as she is the reason why she's going to order takeout, because her brain requires volume, right? She is not a bird eater, right? She doesn't eat like a fucking bird. She eats like a fucking rhinoceros, and she needs at least a lot of food to satiate her mental hunger, right? But she's not doing that, which is why she is going to stay fat.
Kind of tried to make something at home. This is just 2 low carb tortillas,
and look, she looks so disappointed in the flavor too.
Cheese and turkey meat. I think it was pretty tasty for what it was.
It satisfies her need to have carbohydrates at every meal. Like, I used to be fatter than I am now. I haven't weighed myself. I'm going to weigh myself. What is this? The 11th of October. I'm going to weigh myself on the 24th of October because I'm going to see my doctor on that day. So I'm going to weigh myself in the morning, but I haven't weighed myself now in probably like 3 or so weeks because it's not beneficial for me to weigh myself, right? I go to the gym 7 days a week. I walk 20,000 steps a day. You know, I go and lift now 6 days a week. And when I lift, I usually lift over an hour, especially on upper body days. I have no idea why it takes me an hour and 45 minutes on upper body days, but it does. And then on lower body days, it takes me like an hour and 20 minutes. And then I do the treadmill. And then you know what I'm saying? I do all of this exercise. I eat the exact same food almost on repeat every day. What's the point of weighing myself? But she doesn't even look happy with this. But because she is a food addict, she has to have carbohydrates and fat. Right? These 2 things, carbohydrates, fat, and it probably has some butter on it, some salt in it, right? These are the flavor profiles that make your brain go fucking crazy for food. And this is why fat people love to replicate, right? These flavor profiles over and over and over and over and over again.
Did it need some type of sauce? Yes. I probably would have liked to have this with some sour cream, but
she should have just used Greek yogurt. Literally, plain Greek yogurt can replace sour cream in almost every single way. Every single instance. You can put it on top of chili. You can dip your tortilla in it, right? You can put it in a burrito. I like the looser yogurt, the yogurt that has a lot more, I guess, liquid in it, right? I don't really like the firm Greek yogurt, but plain unsweetened yogurt can replace sour cream in almost every instance. And even though it doesn't have that tanginess to it, I would imagine that if you added something like lime or lemon to it, it would taste almost exactly the fucking same.
I was using what I had. For dinner, I did Uber Eats some food, and can anyone guess what I got? Mo Betta. If you got it right, then tell me you got it right.
Nonsense. Nonsense. She should have eaten something that tasted better throughout the day. And I think that this meat is dark meat, which means it's high in fat, right? And the reason why she ordered it is because it's more delicious. Again, it's more, brain goes crazier for dark meat than it does for light meat. And for a long time, I was not somebody that paid attention to how different foods made me feel. But since my food noise completely stopped, right, now I realize that, first of all, food noise was never normal. I thought it was normal. I thought it was just the way my brain was built for a very long time, but then I realized that the reason I had food noise is because of the food I was eating. And another thing that I noticed was that whenever I eat foods that are nutritionally dense and not processed, and whenever I eat foods that are not excessively high in carbohydrates, guess what? I don't feel bloated anymore. I never feel overfull anymore. The only time I've ever felt overfull in the last couple of months has been when I went to eat hot pot a couple times after work. And that's why I started bringing an apple, because I want to save my money, first of all, but also I don't want to feel overfull or feel the need to eat something because my blood sugar is dropping and I haven't eaten in like 6 or 7 hours. I noticed that the food that I eat now, it does not alter my brain chemistry whatsoever. Like, it doesn't cause me to want to eat something else or cause me to feel like I want this or cause me to want to eat something sweet, right? And that was something that I struggled with for a very, very long time, for 15 fucking years. And I thought that it was just normal. But the reason why was because I was eating way too many fucking carbohydrates. And when I say way too many, the average person probably needs about 100 grams of carbs, the macronutrient carbs a day. I was eating probably like 6, 7, 800 grams of carbohydrates a fucking day. Like, literally the vast majority of everything that I ate, the majority of the day would be carbs, back to back. Usually with like some kind of fat on them or some kind of sweet on them, right? Because that makes it more delicious. But now that I don't eat like that, and now that I eat mostly lean protein and vegetables and fruit, I like everything that I eat still, right? I love all different kinds of food still. I always have, but they don't actually change the way that I feel. They don't affect my mood. They don't affect my thinking. They don't affect my blood sugar, anything, right? But we can see here she has 2 carbs on her plate. She has rice. Why the fuck would you get white rice and then also this macaroni salad? Why? And then we can see she has some pitiful ass bullshit ass cabbage under this meat. And I would imagine that it's just there to be a bed of vegetables to keep the meat off of the bottom of the pan. We can see why this woman can't lose weight. She can't lose weight because she refuses to just eat lean protein, fruits, and vegetables, unfortunately. And I would imagine that she would like all of those things, right? She doesn't seem like she's one of those like picky ass eaters who can only eat 1 or 2 types of food. But I think that she doesn't realize the role that these 2 things are playing in her brain's chemistry. And I would wish that a lot of people would realize that, right? Carbohydrates are not villains. They are not the enemy, but fat people eat too fucking many of them. And because you eat so many of them, they make you want to eat even more of them.
Not eat the mac salad though.
She said she didn't eat the mac salad. I don't believe her, but okay. Right? Why would you order it if you ain't gonna eat the fucking mac salad? And so this is a recent video of hers that I saw literally, I think today or yesterday. And this is what made me make this video, because this breakfast, in my opinion, is the worst breakfast that a person that has food noise can fucking eat. And we can see why, right? She has a chicken sausage and a big ass fucking bowl of oatmeal. I think this is 2 packs of oatmeal. Yeah, guess what? Unless this woman is about to go and run 6 miles, she doesn't need this much fucking oatmeal. She doesn't need oatmeal at all anyway, right? There's no protein on this fucking plate. There's no vegetables on this plate. There's no fruit on this plate. There's no reason why people should be eating vegetables at breakfast. I don't know why Americans have been so influenced to eat only bullshit carbohydrates for breakfast, but that's marketing. You can eat vegetables at breakfast, but we about to watch this woman. I think in this video she also ordered takeout.
As a plus size person, and I'm not gonna lie, today was crazy. It was crazy. I already knew what was coming, but I did try to start off strong by eating.
This is not strong. This is starting off weak as fuck. This is outrageous. She didn't eat oatmeal anyway, but she especially didn't eat 2 fucking packets of it.
At home, I had 2 packs of brown sugar protein oatmeal with
See? Protein oatmeal doesn't exist. It's not real. That's not real. That's protein adjacent fucking food. And I left that comment. If you go to her Instagram and you find this video, you will see a comment that I left saying that this is protein adjacent bullshit food. These companies are tricking you by adding protein into your carbohydrates that they know you love, right? They know you fucking love cookies. So now they're going to take your favorite cookies and they're going to put some protein in it and call them high protein cookies. And then when you look at the macros on the back, you're going to see that it doesn't actually have that good of protein to cookie fucking ratio. But because companies also know that most people are stupid and they're not going to read the fucking nutritional label, they put protein on the front and y'all just follow it. And I said in another video, I have a friend, she eats these protein bars and she thinks that they're really healthy, but the macros on these protein bars are fucking awful. It's like 180 calories for like, I think like 8 grams of protein. Outrageous. I can get 8 grams of protein for 100 calories from eating 2 fucking low-fat string cheeses, right? So again, this is marketing. These companies are marketing to you. Protein pasta, protein oatmeal, protein milk, protein yogurt, protein everything. If it ain't a lean meat protein, it's not a protein source. That's it, right? It's literally that black and white. Unfortunately, it's not a fucking protein, not a pure protein anyway. It just has protein in it. And this, I guarantee you, the carbohydrates in this oatmeal greatly outweigh the ratio to fucking protein. Or in my experience, I should say, the ratio of carbs to protein needs to be such that you have twice as much protein on your plate than you do have carbs. Because, as I said, carbohydrates, they will raise your blood sugar, but if you combine them with proteins and fats, because it is all digesting in your stomach at the same time, what it does is the carbohydrates cannot release into the blood sugar as quickly as they could have had you eaten only carbs or primarily carbs, right? So she's talking about she's starting off strong. This shit is marketing, and this shit is the reason why you are still fat. It's the reason why I was still fat for 15 fucking years, because I would think like, oh, I'm eating healthy because I'm eating oatmeal. Yeah, guess what? Oatmeal is good for you if you're a fucking athlete. If you're a starving child in the fucking 18th century, it's not good for you if you're fat as fuck, because you don't need this energy source. Your body has 150 pounds of energy source on it.
A chicken sausage, apple chicken sausage.
And the oatmeal doesn't even look good, right? Her face when she eats it looks so unimpressed, which tells me that it doesn't taste good, but she's gonna eat it anyway because it has a good mouthfeel.
With mustard. Of course, I had a pink slush Alani.
She get on my goddamn nerves.
I need that every single day. Yes.
You don't need it every single day. And the fact that she thinks she does need it every single day, like I said, is a food addiction. That's a food addiction talk.
I need it. I don't care what you say. And then I decided to make some ribs for lunch. So I ate literally all.
Where's the vegetables? I wrote that. Where's the vegetables on this fucking plate? How can you make this meal and then think that this looks reasonable to have no vegetables on your plate? And I think people will say, well, you know what? She has a lot of protein on her plate. This is fucking high fat protein. And there's a difference. Unfortunately, there's a fucking difference. The amount of calories in these ribs is so much more than she would have gotten had she just eaten pork loin, right? Pork chop, right? If she had just eaten some pork chops, got her some pork chops, sous vide'd them, air fried them, baked them, whatever, she could have probably eaten 3 times as much pork loin as she gets for the calories of these fucking pork ribs. And I think they're processed, right? Because they seem to me like these are probably processed. She probably got them at Trader Joe's, like this fucking macaroni. But I just find it crazy that there's not one vegetable on this plate. And this is something that I have made a point of doing, is having a vegetable or fruit at every single meal and making sure that I have a lot of vegetables. Especially, like, I don't eat vegetables in portions. I don't even count the vegetables, right? Why the fuck am I counting broccoli? Why am I counting zucchini? Why am I counting the calories in cucumber? Like, I'm not counting them, but I will go out of my way to go to the grocery store to get some vegetables in order to add them to my meals, because I no longer eat food without vegetables, because it's just going to make you hungrier. Again, this meal is not satiating, which is why she is going to end the day by ordering fast food. The ribs should have satiated her. The lack of fiber and nutrients she would have got from eating a bunch of vegetables, a huge amount of vegetables, right? She could have picked any vegetable. Pick broccoli, pick kale, pick spinach, pick cabbage. Pick one, cook a lot of it, put it on your plate, and then it would have been a lot more satisfying. She could have even added fruit to this, right? Low glycemic fruits like apples or pears, right? I have pears right now because it's also pear season here. She could have had some pears or some apples, and it would have filled her up enough that she wouldn't have ordered takeout, but she's about to order takeout.
all of them but 4. Yes, I did. And then I made some Trader Joe's mac and cheese and nobody put me on. This is like the best mac and cheese I have ever had out of a box, okay? It is delicious. You need to go buy it right now. And before I go any further, please make sure you're commenting and posting your pictures of your food because I genuinely love to see them. Keep posting them, please.
Right? You see her face when she eats something that tastes good. So she likes the macaroni, but she didn't like that oatmeal, but I guarantee you she ate the whole thing.
Now back to my horrible choices. I went straight in.
See what happens when you eat carbohydrates in the absence of things like vegetables and enough lean protein. So that macaroni digested expeditiously fast in her stomach, because even if ribs are a protein source technically, and even though they have fat in them, they don't have a lot of meat on the actual bone, right? So if she had eaten like 300 grams of lean protein, she would have had so much meat that it probably would have staved off the ability for the carbs to release as fast as they did. But she didn't do that. And so now her blood sugar is probably dropping. And so she really wants something else sweet. And again, the need to have something sweet means that you ate too many carbohydrates. Because I used to think for a long time that that's just the kind of person that I was, like, oh, I need to have something sweet after I eat. Guess what? When I stopped eating carbohydrates in large amounts, right? I still eat them now because I go to the gym every day and because I need them. I need to have glycogen in my muscles in order to be able to lift weights, right? I tried going to the gym and eating less carbs, but I literally don't have the ability to even get a good pump if I don't have enough water in my muscles being held in by carbohydrate intake. But guess what? When I eat carbs like that in these moderate amounts, I don't get that, oh my God, I really want something sweet feeling. And the only time I get that feeling, guys, is when I have hot pot. Drink some of the broth when I eat. It causes my stomach to expand due to the carbohydrates in there. And when I tell you every single time without fail that I have hot pot, I think to myself, oh my God, I'm really full. And I think, oh my God, I want something sweet. That's the very first thing that I think. And I don't think that whenever I just eat at home. So though that macaroni is the reason why she's eating this bullshit. And if you are fat and you want to break your bad habits, that's the way to do it. If you want to stop doing this shit, that's how you do it. Reduce your carbohydrates at breakfast and lunch and keep them to the end of the day and stop eating this type of processed bullshit, right? If you want to have a donut once a month. Have it once a month. For me, I eat this type of stuff on my period. Have it once a month and then don't have it any other time throughout the month at all. And you will be able to keep your food noise at bay.
With some of these zebra cake donuts.
So she's going to eat this, and then these donuts, because they are pure processed carbs, they are going to spur her brain into wanting more and more and more. And she's going to order takeout. Like I said, these companies know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. They make this food, they test people's reaction to this food, they test animals' reaction to this food, and they know that whenever most animals, right, human animals, laboratory animals, whatever, whenever they eat this food, they know that they're going to want to eat something else. So they're all invested in this bullshit.
Donuts, and they were cold, and I don't know why I liked them cold, but they were delicious. For dinner, I did get Jack in the Box. I had 4 tacos and...
So she went and got processed carbohydrate fast food, right? Jack in the Box, 4 tacos and mini churros.
Some mini churros. I don't think that's...
Right? What did she get? She got carbohydrates with the side of more carbohydrates processed, right? If you are watching my video and you tired of me saying the same thing over and over again, I'm going to keep saying it because I know that people have been saying it for years, right? I'm not saying that this is revolutionary or anything like that, but I'm saying is that there's so much advice out there being given by a lot of people. Like you see people saying like, moderate your carbohydrates, carbohydrates are the problem. And then you have people saying you should have everything in moderation because it's really bad to villainize any food. The reality is carbohydrates as a macronutrient, its job, right, as a macronutrient is to provide energy. Right? So it is not a villain, but it is there for a person that is extremely active. And if you are not really active, you don't need it, right? You understand what I'm saying? Right? If I don't have a headache, I don't take ibuprofen. That's weird, right? Ibuprofen is bad for your kidneys if you take it frequently in the long run, right? But if you take it when you have the occasional headache, then it's not going to harm you, right? But it would not make sense for a person to take a medicine if they don't have the symptoms that require that medicine. It doesn't make sense for people to eat so many carbohydrates when they're not active enough to need those carbohydrates. And being a sedentary person and sitting down most of the days, driving everywhere, not going to the gym, not being a runner, not doing cardio, not lifting weights, It simply does not require this amount of carbohydrates. And when you put all of that shit in your blood and your blood sugar is going crazy, your brain is just going to crave more and more and more. And your brain does not have your best interest at heart. It never did, right? We are just designed to survive. And I wish that I realized all of this information, right? Carbohydrates are not the problem. The problem is how you eat according to your own lifestyle. And there are entirely too many people that are too sedentary, right? We are all too sedentary, right? Our ancestors, they used to expend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours a day on being farmers that required them to eat a lot of carbohydrates, right? I think I read in a book that when human beings were primarily farmers and we lived in small communities, the average person, and this is everybody in a family, they work like 16 hours a fucking day, right? Just doing things to sustain their lives, right? They were hauling water, picking shit up, moving animals, planting shit, fending off things, fighting things, right? Building things, picking up things, carrying things, right? All of this requires so much energy that our ancestors had a reason to eat as many carbs as they did, but the average person in 2025 simply does not. Anyway, I'm going to stop the video here because I really don't have anything else to say. I just really wish that this became more of a popular sentiment, right? Because I feel like you have so many people right now on the internet that all have their own agenda and they're all trying to sell you something and they're all trying to convince you of something. And you have a lot of people giving a lot of advice about things that they themselves don't struggle with. And I said this in another video, a lot of dietitians who have never been fat, in their minds, because they can eat a lot of processed food in moderation and do it frequently, they think like, oh, well, I'm going to advise fat people that they should also do the same as me because it works for me, because they are not a person that has the predisposition, right, to develop an addiction to these types of food. And that's just our individual genetic makeups, right? For some people it's alcohol, for some people it's cigarettes, right? For some people it's drugs. Some people can have all of these things all in moderation for their entire lives, right? I think that people are always looking for some sentiment of like fairness, right? The world should be fair. Everything should work for everybody in the exact same way all the time. And that's just not how reality works. But I will say that I think that a lot of people need to try what would work for them. And the reason I make these types of videos is because I try to make them about people that I think are similar to me and that eat like I used to eat, because I think that we all have the exact same type of vice. But if you are somebody who is obsessed with carbohydrates and you get a lot of food noise, and your food noise is always directed towards carbs and processed carbs and high sugar, high sodium, high palatability food, that would be my advice to you, is to moderate this food and remove all ultra processed food from your diet almost completely, and that will completely end your food noise. But you have to keep up that habit of not eating this type of food simply because your brain cannot handle it in moderation. Anyway, this has been a Cosmic Nebula video, and I will see y'all in the next one.